Well, we have a number of registrants, but it's always sometimes a discrepancy between who register and who shows up. But if you all could be on camera, that'd be great. If not, no worries. I just like to have folks on camera just to get to look at your beautiful faces. And um, since this would be a smaller group, we'll try to make it as interactive as possible. Tarek, I don't know if we
Absolutely.
should wait for another
I
minute.
think we should, it's five after.
Okay.
So, I love an intimate gathering. My name is Tarek Perkins. I use he, him pronouns. I'm the Chief Program Officer of Start Out. It's my pleasure to be here today with Kong from People Onward for this amazing presentation that we're about to see. Align your life, lead with purpose, live with inner integrity as an LGBTQIA plus leader. As a Q plus leader myself, I will say that this is not the easiest thing to do all day, every day. So I'm really, really keen to hear what we're going to discuss and learn about today. And with that being said, I will not delay us any further. I will hand it over to you, Kong. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Tarek. I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and it's a pleasure to be with you all. I'm very excited about this webinar. One, because I get to teach in front of my near and dear colleagues and community members, and so I've been involved in this work for 10 plus years, and is my purpose, is my passion, and so um, as I mentioned, welcome to Align Your Life, Lead with Purpose, Live with Inner Integrity as an LGBTQIA plus leader. My name is Colin Shannon, I'm founder and CEO of People Onward. Our mission is to unlock the full potential of people and businesses everywhere to drive extraordinary performance, lead with meaningful impact, and align success with purpose and fulfillment. And a little bit of my background. I am a catalyst for transformation in people, teams, and organizations. My background, I was a former management consultant for some of the world's top leadership development companies, primarily advising Fortune 500 business executives on how to lead with intention, build strategy and culture that sticks, and really getting people to be more purposeful in their work so that they can tap into the space of meaningful um, work and finding purpose in what they do through their job. Um, Bring a mix of creativity, innovation, empathy, and strategic thinking to leadership. And so that's just a little bit about me. For today's agenda, we'll talk about discovering your why, and then also helping you reconnect with your purpose, and then how purpose and values drive performance. And the next is identifying misalignment and the power of alignment. And then what is ikigai, which is a Japanese term. And then designing a purpose statement, and then mapping integrity, and then reflecting on that. And then there's last but not least, Q&A. And I'll be doing majority of the talking, but feel free to chime in. Don't be shy. If you have a comment or question, uh, feel free to just chime in and use your button. And then we should be able to have a feature to unmute themselves, or the chat feature. That being said, so discovering your why. So really, your why anchors your decision. It fuels your resilience and inspires others um, to tap into their own sense of purpose, right? And specifically when it comes to the LGBT community, sometimes we're so uh, caught up with all the challenges that we're facing in this current political landscape that we often forget to step back and really be more intentional about how we lead our life, right? And so by anchoring yourself, you're able to show up more powerfully. Discovering your why is essential for authentic leadership. Authentic leadership is one of the most profound traits or competencies of a leader. It embodies your core motivations and serves as a guiding principle for decision making. It also reflects discovering your why is a great way to inspire yourself to connect with your core values and unlock your true potential as a leader, guiding your decision for long-term success. The Purpose or your why is really, think of it as your inner compass. It's the image here. It is the why behind your job title, behind your goals, and the reason for you to get up every day. Purpose doesn't have to be grandiose. It just needs to be true to who you are, and it helps makes you feel alive as you're going about your day. When it comes to defining your personal why and just for clarity, there are three techniques that I often encourage people to implement, and you can do this right away. First is through journaling, which is where you write down your thoughts, you capture it, and it helps you to uncover those hidden motivations. You can think about it, in your head, but it's more powerful when you actually write it down. The second technique is really the reflective questions, where you're exploring deeper inquiries that sparks these passions that you have, um, and really help you to find some clarity. And then third is storytelling. Sharing experiences with others can help you connect more deeply to your values. The one thing that I would say here is that, when it comes to reflective questions, some of the examples that you could implement or ask yourself is, what motivates and inspires me? What lights me up, like gets me in a state of flow where I can perform a certain activity and then I lose track of time. And what gives me meaning and fulfillment. And the key here is really to engage in these self-discovery techniques, to help you unveil your core motivations, and foster deep understanding of your passions, desires, ensuring that you connect with who you truly are. So when you're reconnecting with your purpose, you want to be able to not only identify what your purpose is, but also cultivate a sense of leadership self-awareness through understanding your core motivations, right? So this is where you're connecting with your purpose for effective leadership. You're fostering a sense of alignment and fulfillment. Alignment in a sense of, are my values, personal values, aligning with the work that I do, right? Getting a sense of fulfillment. And then allowing you to, be more authentic and inspire others to tap into their authenticity, so that you can, live out your truth and help others live out theirs as well as an LGBT community leader, entrepreneur. When you're able to understand and clarify your why, you can really cultivate an effective leadership style that resonates deeply with who you are and also achieving personal and professional success. When it comes to purpose and performance, it's important to connect both of those components because it helps you to integrate your inner motivation and core values that shape your effectiveness as a leader. You want to be able to make quick decisions, and effective decisions, that can help you improve your overall performance uh, in the workplace or in your job as an entrepreneur. When it comes to how purpose and values drive performance, there are three things that I often think about. The first is identifying your core values. Um, you're wanting to recognize your core values, because it's crucial for authentic leadership. These values guide as principles for decision makings and allowing you to align actions with your beliefs so that you can create a fulfilling professional career. When it comes to energy and fulfillment, this is where you're really tapping into your energy levels. When your values are aligned with your actions, you can experience increased fulfillment, driving motivation, engagement in your role. Um, as a result, fostering a sense of positive and productive work. And then third is confidence and impact. Of course, a strong connection between personal values and professional actions can help you enhance your confidence, leading to impactful decision making, um, and also inspiring others to achieve their goals and your overall organizational success. I worked with a client, Jessica Gloria. She runs a tech company, and I wanted to include one of her testimonial here by working with me as her business strategist leadership coach. She says, working with a diverse team has profoundly enriched our approach to leadership. We've discovered that recognizing and embracing our authentic values fosters collaboration and drives passionate engagement, allowing us to elevate our impact and achieve our goals together. So let's check in. How's everyone doing? What are, do any of these concepts or frameworks make sense to you? Is it in alignment? Have you thought about a recent scenario that maybe perhaps some of these frameworks could apply? Jesse says thumbs up. Anything you want to elaborate on there, Jesse? I know that your background is a little noisy, but I'm okay with it. It's a small group, so no need to feel embarrassed or shy if you're unmuted with your background.
Yeah, I can speak briefly. So I actually I just finished a master's program studying purposeful work and purpose in work. And so
Nice.
a lot of the things that you are describing are things that I have been looking at for the last couple of years and I'm working on applying in my own like organizational consulting practice.
That's amazing. And congratulations to you for completing your program.
Thank you.
It's important work. It's work that's much needed in this world. People that have a sense of purpose tend to, live longer. They tend to have happier relationships and a sense of fulfillment. And so um, that's wonderful. Any other comments? Is it Taisha? Is that how you pronounce your name again? Yeah, Taisha, any thoughts? You were just on camera, so I don't know if you had something to say.
Yeah, sure. Yes, for myself, yes, I completely resonate with what you're saying. I have thought about my own personal values and how that incorporates into my company values and my
Mhm,
why. And yet at this point in my maybe entrepreneurship journey, I'm feeling like this, this sort of rut. And so I'm here to, yeah, to sort of reconnect with my why,
mhm.
and yeah, and get to that place.
I
So
love
for this
that.
timely,
Thanks for
thank you.
sharing.
Yes, of
Yeah,
course. Thank
yeah,
you, Kong.
of course. There's. I'm glad that it's a timely. It's very timely for you. I also want to add on that discovering your purpose is a ever evolving journey, right? It's not like a destination because you changed, life changed you, and so it's important to continue to. I don't want to say reinvent your purpose, but just assess whether your current purpose is in alignment with the purpose that you initially thought of 3 6 months ago or a year ago, right? So it should be ever evolving. When it comes to spotting disconnects, you want to be able to identify disconnects or gaps between your purpose, values, and actions. A broken compass is a symbol of misalignment. Um, and by there's this leadership practice called the pause principle. When you're able to pause and be still and reflect on your life, you're able to assess, reassess your direction and gain some clarity. When it comes to identifying misalignments, it's really about when your values clash with your external demands. Um, you might have had jobs where it just wasn't in alignment with who you are and you're not fulfilled and you're happy, you're just accepting this job because it pays the bills, right? And that's actually, unfortunately, a lot of Americans that feel that way. And what does this do? This drains your energy and often leads you to making some unproductive decisions, and it makes it very challenging for you to maintain focus and productivity. Feeling pressure to conform is also one way to feel like you're misaligned. Um, and especially as an LGBT individual, like I myself am gay, so not only am I a person of color, I'm also gay. And I have these values that I hold close and near and dear to my heart. And so when I work for a job that is hostile towards people like me, I need to reassess whether it makes sense to apply my knowledge, skills, and experience or contribution for this company that doesn't value me or appreciate me. Right? Um, of course, when conflicting values occur, they can create a sense of disturbance of peace, causing internal stress, which undermines your ability to lead effectively as an LGBT plus leader and really enjoy your life, not just on a professional level, but on a personal level. You know, misalignment can manifest in the form of fatigue, doubt, stress, of course, anxiety, and when you can recognize these symptoms early on, you can help change the trajectory of your career, right? So don't wait until it gets too big. Like if you feel something's off, address the issue right away. And look, the three techniques that I mentioned around, journaling and in these reflective questions can really help you engage in self-discovery or inquiry about your priorities and where you should be placing your attention and focus. Questions such as, where do I feel off? And, am I neglecting any part of me by taking on this position? Can give you some clarity and helps you redirects you to a harmonious existence. The power of alignment, energy, fulfillment, and confidence. So alignment is when purpose and values are integrated. It creates a powerful synergy for effective and sustainable leadership. You experience high energy, confidence, and clarity when you're in line with these. When your values and purpose are integrated. When it comes to foundational fulfillment, establishing alignment serves as a foundation for personal and professional fulfillment. Alignment not only enhances your well-being overall, but it also allows you to navigate the challenges, resilience, and purpose-driven motivation. Purposeful living, so beyond work, right? Alignment can lead to purposeful living. Living with purpose enhances your overall well-being, allowing you to make conscious decisions, and aligns with your desired state, emotional state, state of fulfillment, and so forth. Some of you might have heard of the ikigai. It's a Japanese term, but it can be applied to everyone. And the three things that they focus on are passion, skills, and needs. So passion is activities that ignite your spirit. It gives you joy, purpose, and meaning, right? Skill is how can you utilize your skills, your talents to make a difference in the world. And then the need is, the impact, contributing positively to others by leveraging your skills and doing what you love while you're getting paid for doing it. So with the current data as it stands, anxiety is through the roof. People are more stressed and overwhelmed and burnout than ever because of the change in technology and how AI has continued to disrupt our work. It's important to be grounded and really find a sense of purpose in all of these, in the midst of all of these uncertainty and change. I like to think of ikigai in Venn diagram because I'm a visual learner. So basically you have on the left side here what you love and enjoy. This is your passion. You know, identifying activities that bring you a sense of joy, fulfillment, and it serves as the foundation for your unique to purpose and fulfill. And then on the right side is what you're good at, your skills, knowledge, and experience, and that you can excel. Recognizing your strengths and skills can actually play a crucial role in shaping your professional identity and mission. And of course, on the middle is what the world needs of, what the world needs more of, and what they value. So it's basically the impact where you're able to combine your passion, your skills to make an impact in the world. Reflecting on societal needs and challenges can really help, um, you know, society move towards the right direction. Not only that, you're also connecting with your true purpose and how you use their success. Does this make sense so far? David, you're a little quiet, so I'm going to check in with you as well. I didn't make love to you. Just wanted to make sure this resonates with you or folks here.
I mean, what I would say is, sorry, I was just finishing eating. I didn't feel like shoving food in my mouth, but I was the thing about this. I mean, I think there's two different like spheres that this is applicable to, and one is certainly in your personal life, but I'm trying to apply this. I work for a large company, and
Mhm.
what do I love and enjoy versus maybe find interesting? I think, there's I'm just making something. I'm not working like for the American Red Cross where I'm saving lives or anything like that, right? So,
Mhm.
and not that some of the things that I'm working on aren't uh interesting, but I'm trying to like, it's not rocket science what I'm working on right now. So trying to figure out how, and I'm not starting my own company, and so trying to figure out how much of that passion is there. Like, when you interview for a job, you're like, oh yeah, I'm passionate about technology and how it can transform, blah blah blah, or AI, or just make it up. But like, are you really passionate about that, or is that just what you're passionate about for work? Versus you may have
Mhm.
another interest, and you don't always try, do you have to do like I might be interested in environmental issues, but right now I'm not working
Mhm.
on that. So I think you can find threads of passions, right,
Mhm.
within
Mhm.
or things that you find stimulating. I mean, I definitely think there's an area like where there's burnout skills and there's enabling skills, right? So I may be very good at
Mhm.
Excel, but I just really hate doing models, right? I'm more of an idea
Mhm.
guy, and so even though I have those skills, I don't necessarily want to over index on them, and there are other things like
Mhm.
you can index more. I do, I will say this though, it's challenging to find leaders in companies who like they basically care about growing revenue and growing profitability. That's really what they care about. Uh, so anyway, I don't know. I that's where my mind is at. I haven't fully thought this through. That's why I was kind of quiet. So
Yeah, yeah, no worries. I mean, I appreciate your insights here. And one thing I want to mention is that, of course, not every job that we take upon is we're gonna find some sort of purpose or fulfillment. What I often coach my clients on is we look for moments of bliss, right? Not, yeah, you know, an average for an average employee, they're gonna work 40 hours a week, 8 hours a day. Not all those 8 hours is going to be purposeful, right? There are going to be tasks and responsibilities that we have to perform. That's part of our job that we're not that all excited about. But that being said, there are moments of bliss, like think of like just these little sparks of joy that you have throughout you're working towards that you can take in and just really appreciate it, right? And when you're able to capture those moments of bliss, you're able to find more purpose in your work, if that makes sense. Now, that being said, I myself have worked at jobs that I did not feel passionate about, I could care less, right? And in those circumstances, I put in the work, pays the bills and whatnot. But then I also find a side hustle, or like I volunteer. I'm very passionate about like contributing my skills, knowledge, and experience in the community and uplifting people up. So that's part of my purpose. And so I would find an organization that I would volunteer from time to time. And that gives me a lot of joy, right? So it's, not everyone has the luxury or the fortunate experience to discover their purpose through work or applying their purpose and work to create fulfillment. But the intention of all of this is really to encourage you to start thinking about this type of work, right? Because as I mentioned, I don't want people to think of purpose as this grandiose, like big concept that we're all struggling to find. Um, and I want this conversation around purpose to happen at the dinner table with your friends when you're connecting with you know, your siblings or having a conversation, with your parents about it, right? Because the more we can engage in this type of work or just having conversations about purpose, moving fulfillment, can really bring out the best in humanity and in ourselves, right? It gives us a sense for living, right? And so I hope that makes sense, David.
Mhm.
Um, Tarek, is there anything that has resonated with you so far? I know that
Oh,
you're in and out, but
yes, a lot has resonated with me. The one question I have though is, for me, this approach has been, and it could be intentional, but I think there has been a bit of a tension in my own mind, around this framework that's kind of trying to zero in on the the intersection of, what you're good at, what you love, and what the world needs, which
Mhm,
to me could identify sort of one of the potentials that you might be able to fulfill in your experience as a human being. And there could be other things that don't
mhm,
necessarily fit in the intersection of the Venn diagram that
mhm,
could bring not just tremendous satisfaction and a sense of purpose, but could also um, inspire you in ways that um, some things that in the intersection might not, quite frankly. Um,
mhm,
I think as an entrepreneur, we are absolutely driven by what the world needs, because there's the notion of product market fit. And if you don't satisfy that or take it into account, then you're wasting your time. Um,
mhm,
but as a leader, I think I am kind of curious about leading from just passion and the things that you
mhm,
love and enjoy, um, and the things that you're good at. So I think this should really be three circles, I think, because I see two on the
mhm.
screen. I think it's a little misleading because
Yeah, yeah.
what the world needs part is what I'm getting at. And I
Mhm,
think that part there is a part, like if there was a third circle for what the world needs and it was shifted down, there's an intersection between what you love and what you want that is not what the world needs,
mm,
that I think is where I pull inspiration from
Hmm.
as a leader. So
Hmm.
it's not so much about what the world needs, it's just what I love and what I'm really good at and that I can
Hmm.
stand on firmly. As an
Hmm.
entrepreneur, I think that's where I'm in the dead center of the Venn diagram because of that
Hmm.
need for product market fit. So that's been swirling around in my mind this whole time.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Thank
And
you.
I've
I
been trying
appreciate
to manage my twins who are home and
it.
my co-pilots in this session. I also do have to hop for another call in less than 2 minutes, but this has been really great food for thought thus far, and it's been a pleasure to be here and participate. Thank you.
Thank you, Tarek. I appreciate your insights and incredible observation. I appreciate it. And yes, you're right. There should be a third circle, which I don't know why the circle didn't appear above there. I'll make sure to fix that. But I think the what you love and enjoy is really has to do with yourself, like in first person, right? Like who are you, right? And then the right side is what skills are you good at and that you can apply. Right? So it's an extension of who you are. And then, of course, the middle is really what the world needs for, which is basically focusing the intention on the world. Um, because if we were to, let's say, just focus on ourselves, then we can get caught up in the whole this is me, me, me. And not to say that it's a bad thing, but the world is just centered around you, right? And not so much on others. But as human beings, we have those need to contribute to the world, right? So there has to be also a focus on other people, what the world needs to make an impact. On to the next slide here. So designing a purpose statement. This is so I want you to look at your purpose as more than just your professional role, but we do need to cover that element. So when you're defining your purpose, well, you're defining your professional role, um, identifying your unique contribution within the organization, ensuring that your purpose is aligned with how you make meaningful impact in the field. When it comes to personal identity, it's really about embracing your unique strengths. So, when you reflect on your personal identity, you have a better understanding of your foundational values and beliefs. And then you're able to integrate all of that into your purpose to ensure that it resonates with who you truly are. And then, of course, the third is really about service to others, right? When you're designing your purpose statement, you want to make sure that, there's an impact in others, right? And you're committing some sort of positive impact. It doesn't have to be daily, it could be, weekly, monthly, whatever it is for you, through your work. You want to be able to consider how your purpose is able to serve others and, foster that connection and support, in which their lives so that, your life can also be enriched in that way. So here's a formula for crafting your purpose statement. So I want you to focus on using this formula. And you can write it down, screenshot it, but essentially, want to use the formula I exist to, and then use a verb or an impact for, and then who would that be? Through I. So what's the how of this strategy? So as an example, I exist to inspire conscious leadership by helping others align purpose and performance. The key here is really to encourage you to not only write it down, but also tap into the space of authenticity and connection so that you can find a deeper motivation, and then share with others, right? To foster that community sense of belonging. When you're crafting your purpose statement, you want to make sure that it integrates your professional role, your personal identity, and it's of service to others. Goes back to the previous slide. And it should help you to make it should guide you to make decisions towards a fulfilling, purposeful life, and also helps you to be a better leader. Um, does this formula make sense to people? Does it help? This is a very practical technique. And so when you write it down and live by it, you know, say it out loud every morning, before you start the day, can really help you to live in your purpose, if that makes sense. Cool. The other thing I would also mention too is that when you use your purpose statements, make sure to think of it as your daily compass that guide your actions, your decisions, and interactions with people, and work. Uh, and when you operate from the sense of living, then you're able to allow others to follow suit. And I would encourage you all to not only write down your purpose statement, but share with other people, because then they can also write their own purpose statement and inspire you to fulfill yours. Right. When it comes to refinement, you want to make sure that you're committing to your purpose in an ongoing journey. As Taisha, we talked about how purpose should be an ever evolving thing because life changes us and we change with it, right? So, and then embracing the process, right? Staying true to who you are, but also knowing that you can change your purpose statement at any given time to align with your current values and aspirations, right? I've seen people that venture out to entrepreneurship as a W-2 employee. I've seen it the other way around. I've seen people worked in one industry and then completely shifted to a completely different industry, right? And so, and that's okay, right? Because people change, um, and with it, the purpose statement should change with it, but it should ever be evolving. Remember that a clear and effective purpose statement should create harmony, balance, and a sense of impact. It helps you through times of change, challenges, and uncertainty. When it comes to integrity mapping, this is really about aligning your beliefs, behaviors, and true self. So right here, I hone in on three components. The first is defining your integrity. Integrity represents the harmony between your beliefs and actions, ensuring that you live authentically and consistently with your values. The second here is mapping action, which is really about regularly assessing your daily actions against your core values to help identify any discrepancies or misalignment. And it allows you to consciously adjust them as you grow and evolve as a human being. Right. One thing I didn't even touch on is the growth part. I truly believe that in order for us to be fulfilled in our lives, we need to continue to grow, right? And sometimes we experience pain, we need to grow. If that's the path forward, we should choose it and don't avoid it, because staying stuck is actually more of a challenge than it is to, get through the, the life's problems that we have, right? In order to grow. And then the third component is addressing gaps, right? In this world of integrity, is really recognizing and addressing these gaps that encourages self-reflection, leading to greater and fulfillment of distributed. I would say here that striking a balance and across relationships, self-care, work, and service to others, and ensure that you remain in alignment with your values and fostering a sense of harmony and integrity in their daily lives. When you're someone that is able to tap into your sense of purpose and embody it, living out your values, then you're able to recognize that purpose isn't just a thing. It really is transformational. It extends to relationships and to your community and really creates a sense of balanced existence. Reflection and commitment. So, of course, we're at the tail end of it, but I want to encourage you all to um, pause and really reflect on the significance of your life and reconnecting with who you are and your purpose or your why. And then also identifying core values and how are those values driving your leadership, right? So one thing you can do is identify one personal shift you will make to enhance your alignment with your purpose while maintaining your integrity, right? So you could be someone who taps into purpose, but if you're not in integrity with your values, then you're not being authentic, right? Authentic requires a level of integrity. And of course, reflect on how this change can um, help you grow and evolve through time. As Eleanor Roosevelt says, um, the purpose of life, after all, is to live it, to taste experience to the utmost, to reach out eagerly and without fear of a newer and richer experience. Such a powerful statement there. So that being said, I am offering a free strategy call for those of you who are in attendance. Typically, this one-off session, I charge $750, but I'm offering for free. It's a 30-minute conversation where we will discuss the challenges you have as it relates to your personal professional lives and then help you reconnect with your purpose to build a high-performing plan that we can help and can implement right away. So that we can break free from distress and mental clutter and perform at the highest level. Everything I do is I help you unlock your full potential so that you can make a positive impact in your community, your business, the clients you serve, your family, your friends, and so forth. And so along with that, I also am offering a free assessment. You can just copy and paste the link and take the assessment before our 30-minute conversation or before our strategy call. And then that will give me a better understanding of where you're coming from. And then when we talk, I would already have that information with you. So I hope you'll take advantage of it. And it's something I'm offering just for those of you who are on this call. And a way to reach me is through email, phone. You can also check on my website. I'm also on LinkedIn and pretty active on LinkedIn as well. So that being said, I will leave room for questions and answers. Welcome, Gabriella. It looks like you just joined. So any questions, comments?
I just wanted to say that I'm really grateful I stumbled upon this seminar, specifically for the LGBTQ part of it, because it's just a couple of months ago that I kind of like came into the acceptance of that part of myself. And I had been living 14 years suppressing that. So I just want to say I'm really grateful for the emphasis that this seminar has had with that aspect.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. And, through doing this work of 10 plus years, what I've realized is that everyone has their own challenge. And it's important to have these types of, conversations to, provide a sense of inspiration, right? And the work that I do here is it's not just about coaching, it's about transformation, right? I've helped clients transform their lives from that awful, marriage to getting divorced to now finding the relationship of their dreams to helping to save a child's life. And so for me, the work that I do is, again, it's transformational. It's really meant to uplift the human spirit. And there's a lot that is going on, particularly as we're going through a very unique transition in the political landscape, to put it nicely. There's a lot for us to think about as members of the LGBT community. And so my work is to inspire you all to live out your the most powerful version of yourselves, so that you can show up powerfully, to help others, right? And so, well, what we see in the news and what we experience in the political landscape is meant to scare us and to put us into this dark room where there's no light, there's no hope, no future. And so, my work is really to provide that light and to inspire others that there is, in fact, another path forward. And we don't have to focus on all the things that's wrong with society or with people in power. We ourselves have the power to change the world by changing ourselves. In the leadership space, I say, leadership is living from the inside out. Right? So know who you are as a person, and through engaging this work, you're able to then show up powerfully, and help make a difference in others, particularly LGBT youth who are struggling to find who they are and what are the guidance, that could be the path to making a positive impact. Right? So, anything else, you all, before we end this session? If not, then I will end this session. And thank you so much for attending this webinar. And feel free to jump off anytime. Yeah, if you want to reach out to me directly, again, you have my contact information. Thank you. Appreciate it. And hopefully we'll look forward to seeing you all the next one.